I'm Trevor Williams with Global Atlanta. We're here with Alistair Burt, who is a minister at the British Foreign Office with responsibility for North America, among other regions. Mr. Burt, thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about why you're here in Atlanta today.
Atlanta is a very important consular post for the United Kingdom. It covers 6 different states in the southeast corner of the United States. It's a very big region. We have a very good team here, and we're working continually to sort of improve the relationships between us, and my focus today has been on trade. The relationship between us is very strong, as you're probably aware. Each is the other's biggest single investor between the United States and the United Kingdom. There's about 1 million jobs in the United Kingdom, which are based on US-based companies, and there's about 1 million jobs in the US based on UK companies. So that sort of relationship is very strong, and the opportunity I've taken here has been to see city figures and to talk to city business people about that relationship.
We're all recovering from a very difficult economic time. I was wondering if you could go into a little bit about the United Kingdom strategy for recruiting FDI as a part of its recovery plan.
We are all still going through this. I mean, this is very difficult for everyone, and we all watch the news on a regular basis and see what's happening in different countries around the world. The United Kingdom strategy has been to recognise that the size of our public sector was overblown, to seek to reduce that over the next few years, but at the same time give a boost to capital infrastructure. For that you need investment. And the United Kingdom has always been open to investment for overseas, whether it's for our transportation structures, whether it's for other forms of infrastructure and construction. And we will all get ourselves out of this by trading with each other. I think one of the dangers, and it's an easy one for politicians to understand, is we all want everything to be homegrown. But actually, unless you're trading with people abroad, you don't get the jobs in that you need. So part of the message here is to say America should continue to look outwards for jobs and opportunities and investment, just as the rest of the world is, because we will all collectively get ourselves out of this by trading with each other.
The UK and the US, as you said, have a long-standing relationship with regard to investment, and that is true with Georgia as well. There could be a tendency for some not to think about those with which they've had strong partnerships traditionally, and instead look at other markets. Can you talk about how we can advance this relationship even and make it stronger?
With any decent relationship, you have to work at it. There are always other people who would like to intrude on your relationship. We've all got competitors, and we want to be very sure that people see the United Kingdom as being interested in this area. There's 24,000 jobs in Georgia which are based on UK-based companies. We're only going to keep that up if we show that we're interested and we're looking for new opportunities. And I think that's what you do with a good relationship. You've already got a good base, you know some of the people you're dealing with, and you're, in a sense, asking them to be your advocate. We think the best people to talk about business are business, not necessarily governments. We facilitate. But if businesses here who have experience in the United Kingdom can say to other businesses, it's a good place to do business. And equally, if there are companies here, British-based companies like Rolls-Royce, like British Airways, Unilever, who are already here, if their message to British companies is, look, you can do business, you can employ people in Georgia, that's good news. So the purpose of being here is to encourage that relationship and to look for new opportunities to foster it. No relationship in this day and age is ever absolutely settled.
Right. You've met with business leaders and government officials here in Atlanta. Yeah. Give us a sense of the kind of opportunities that you've been presenting to them for investment.
I had a good meeting with the mayor this morning. It was very good to see him. He of course has just returned from London, where he was comparing notes with another great city, and we talked about opportunities there. He's very interested in water issues and sustainability issues. That's a very big thing here. Airport issues, public-private partnership, ways in which to get more bang for the buck, which is what we're all interested in. So we were swapping ideas in relation to that. Business leaders here, I've had a lunch with people from sectors as right the way through, from healthcare, construction to finance, looking at the climate in the UK, what's happening in Georgia in the United States, and again looking at ways in which our consular department here, our Consul General, our United Kingdom Trade and Investment arm, both of which are based here, can do things to help business make the contacts they need in order to advance themselves, and that of course means jobs, and jobs locally here in Georgia.
Atlanta, as you mentioned, is an Olympic city, and London will soon be in 2012. Are there specific opportunities for companies still? I know that the bidding process for a lot of the projects has concluded, but I was wondering if there are other opportunities for Georgia-based investors to participate.
I think there is still more. I mean, the process goes on. Construction is not finished. We've got another year and a half to go. So you're right, some of the bidding has gone, but there will be other opportunities. Of course, Coca-Cola, a major sponsor, they're going to be there in a big way, and there'll be other things that follow. I think that connection between the two cities is very important. I think big cities have a lot in common with each other, and I hope the relationship between Atlanta and London will grow. I came here for the Olympics. I was United Kingdom Minister at the time for people with disabilities. So I came for the Paralympics that were hosted here, which were an immense success, really important to the athletes involved, who see the Atlanta Paralympic Games as a real step change in how they were seen all over the world. And I can tell you they really enjoyed their experience here.
One of your other responsibilities formerly was in charge of the Parliament's relationship with local governments, is that right?
The Conservative Party's relationship with local government, yeah.
Right. Can you talk about the concept of cities making connections around the world? I think that many cities, including Atlanta, are looking at ways that they can not so much deal with the national government before they go abroad, but look to foster relationships with other cities on a one-to-one basis.
I think you're right. My experience was that as the world changes and as the world becomes more urban, remember this is, we're now just into the first decade where more people in the world are living in urban conurbations than in rural and agricultural environments. This is the first time this has ever happened. And all the pressures of movement around the world are all in the same direction. Cities all over the world are taking people from the land, they're bringing them in for employment opportunities and the like. There are many pluses to this, but they also cause difficulties. Now, for the great international cities, they actually have more in common with each other sometimes than they have with neighbouring conurbations within their own state or their own country. So countries will look to each other to share experience. How are you solving the accommodation problems? How are you making sure enough people have work? How are you making sure that people are cared for? How do you make sure people get around the place without gridlock all the time? How do you make sure you bring enough investment in? Some cities have economies the size of countries. So these cities, there is an international network, and my experience in holding the role was to say cities are where people are going to live in the future. They're often there, people are not just going to be there for a short time when they're young, they're going to look to the cities to live in, so making sure cities are living environments. These are all things that big cities share. I have the sense that your mayor really understands this.
In other words, it's important to be integrated with other large cities so you can share expertise.
Yes, I think it is. I think, no one's pulling up the drawbridge anymore. You learn things from other people, and I think big cities share things with each other.